I hate mornings, but I've been getting up super early, and the one thing I actually look forward to that wakes me up in the morning is washing my face. I know the most simple thing will just wake you up, but I think I low key do it because the way that after washing my face, the way my skin is, I feel like I can't see any like fine lines, or I don't know. It sucks getting old, but let's get to face washing. So I got sick of I was using this muesli. Ignore the makeup on there, but I was using this muesli Face RX, and it's a company that they sell stuff for like hyperpigmentation and like different things like that. So I got it, and I've been using it since July. And prior to that, I was using stuff that I made, and my skin just started acting weird. Like, I don't know, it just felt drier, older. I don't know. So anyway, I decided to go back to making my own, or using my own, but I did it different. So I used to do some like a turmeric soap or like face soap, and I would cut them in little cubes because I didn't want to waste a whole bar. So I decided to make them in little hearts for, love out. I think it was cute. But anyway, it is a brightening bar, but it has like rice flour, niacinamide, a bunch of ingredients in it. And when I tell you, it's literally like, I keep saying it's like a facelift in a bottle. Or, well, not in a bottle, but you get what I'm saying, in a cube. And when I tell you, my skin feels so good afterwards, and it gets rid of all my makeup and stuff. But it's great because before you put your makeup on, it tightens your face. Like, not tight, like dry. You know what I'm saying? Like when you over clean your skin, and it's like that feeling like, oh God, it feels dry and tight. No, this feels soft, moisturized, but it's just like, girl, did I get a facelift today? Where I go? So I just love it. And it's just, I don't know. I'm like this. I don't really care if anybody else don't like it. I know what it does. But it's my go-to now. I just can't say enough. And I just like that I put it in, made it little hearts. So then it just looks cute. I don't want to show you my soap dish. Because, yeah, we need to rinse that off, when soap sits. But I love this. And the idea of doing it in little cubes, you separate it. I know people will use their face bar for whatever, their soap bar or whatever, in the shower or this, people just do it. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I personally just like to have it separate. And you can use it all over your body. I mean, let's not get it twisted. It's still great for all over. Excellent for travel too. Plus it reduces on packaging for me. But that's my favorite. It's like my bestie. And it feels so soothing. Like my skin just feels so good. Love that for me. Now let's start the day. Well, I might as well chit chat while I get ready. So this is probably going to come after a video that should go up, where I was discussing the things that I learned from getting married young. Getting married young, it changes you. Marriage is not a bad thing. Let's keep it real. Marriage is not a bad thing. Let me say it again for the people who didn't hear me. It's not a bad thing, but yes, when you get married young, it changes. You could get married young and it lasts forever. It could end quickly. It's all indicative of how much somebody wants to fight. And even if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that people didn't want to fight. It just means people change. We are different phases of ourselves. I would say at least every 10 years. 7 to 10 years, we change. I know who I was. Obviously, we're not going to count teenager. You're who you are in your 20s, who you are in your 30s, and who I am in my 40s. And it's not to say that people are going to make mistakes. People are going to cheat. I'm not condoning it. by no means people are going to, and I say that because we're piggybacking off of Desmond and Christy. It just is a topic that I just think that, you know, some people want to get married young and they think it's like, oh my God, they've had this forever. And then some people never get married. Some people wait. There's different nuances there, and there's good and bad. Like, I love the idea of being with somebody since childhood and they know you and they know everything, but sometimes that's where they keep you. So they might have known one version of you and you've changed, and they can't even see that new version anymore simply because they're stuck in what they know. And then maybe the person you become, they don't like. And it doesn't mean you became a bad person or whatever. It just does not align with them. And that's okay too. So it's not about vilifying everybody. And this channel is really just, how do you just maneuver through that? Because there's different things. Like for me personally, I got married young, didn't know the spouse, meaning we met, oh, will you marry me? A week later, you know, that type of thing. And it lasted 26 years, 25, 26 years. We've grown through that. We became different people through that. Life changed us. For me, I lost my mom, I lost parents, family, friends. I lost so much within that. And I'm not an only child. And that individual's an only child and didn't go through the different losses and the different things that I had to go through that I didn't even know how to navigate through. So that creates a strain. Not being in alignment, meaning the things I wanted versus the things, you know, somebody else wants, different. While we can agree on certain things just didn't work out. And we can sit and cry about it. We can sit and feel like God did us wrong or whatever, but no, it's part of our journey. And I wouldn't be who I am had I not have gone through those things. And every day it's not a sad day. Like, you guys see my video of, oh, I lost everything. Yeah, I did. But sometimes you have to lose everything to get to the other side, because sometimes those things that you think are great are actually blocking your blessings and your reasons to be here. So one of my favorites, cheap, Elle. I love this face cream because it doesn't break me out. Like, I don't get any reactions. I actually want to make my own face cream, but I'm more of like a serum girl, like if I'm making it. But this is a really good one. Especially my daughter, I put her on this. She has sensitive skin and she always reacts to stuff. But this I've never had an issue with, and it's readily available. It's cheap. I don't mind plugging it, even if I end up having a face cream, which it'd probably be more, like I said, a serum. Because I used to do a hyaluronic acid serum that I would make. And I might start making it again. I don't know yet. Then, and this is just I don't know, basic. I don't sit, and I'm not going anywhere to do a bunch of makeup. But you see this hollowing here. A lot of that's lack of sleep and dehydration. I wanted to just blame old age all in all, but I really just don't think it is, because if I start getting sleep and I actually start drinking a lot of water, it usually is fine. But I've been struggling with it for the last couple of weeks because I haven't been sleeping well. Welcome perimenopause. And then this is I don't know, I grabbed this for like $4 at Walmart. It's Physicians Formula Butter Glow Corrector. What I like about this, and I haven't seen a lot of people do this, like it has a little sponge so you can blend. I tried it. It's cute. And if you're on the go, it's great. But I don't know if this offers a lot of coverage, but it offers a lot of moisture underneath your eye. So I do like that. And mind you, I'm not a get ready with me, let's do makeup and do tutorials, because I'm completely basic. I use affordable makeup because I've already went down that road of buying everything under the sun, and I'm this, I don't know, YouTuber. And it's just became a waste and just overconsumption, and I'm just not about that life. So I keep it simple. Not that picky. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this today, but I don't think it's going to be a lot. I can assure you. I think it's going to keep it simple, soupy, to be fair. But for fun time, since we're doing this, this is my favorite Maybelline Super Skin. I think it's Super Stay 24-hour skin tint. Love this. I use two colors. I usually mix it. So the darker color, this is 220, and I used, I think, 312. I mix them, or in the summer I just use this. The winter, I'm a little pale, but I still like to mix them a little bit. I'm kind of out of this and can't seem to get it, which sucks. So you can put it on the back of your hand or just squeeze it out, but it's a drop or two. And this is my fan fave. I would say this is a dupe for, if you're a makeup girly and you're into makeup, it's a dupe for Dior Skin. And I don't know, in my opinion, I still love Dior Skin, but once I found this, I stopped buying it, to be quite honest. Sponge, whatever you want. I'm just stippling it because then it won't be as heavy. Not that it's heavy at all, but I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, this is just, I have a Zoom meeting. Hopefully it's a good opportunity. So I just don't want to look raggedy on camera, I guess. Maybe not, I don't know. And it's funny because I think the clip I did before, no, I did that yesterday. I don't know when I recorded all that video. I just be doing what I be doing. All right, so back to what I was saying with getting married young. It's not a bad thing. But it doesn't change the fact that marriage requires work. Hello, McFly. You have to put in the work. You have to want to compromise. You have to listen, and it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy, but it can be a beautiful thing if two people have a common goal. Do I think it's better to get married when you're older? I don't know. I don't know. I'm old and I'm not married, so I really can't tell you. Would I get married again? I get those questions. Yeah, absolutely would. Or for me, it would be a life partner. This is just the Maybelline Fit Me. I just grab whatever's in there. For me, it would be more of a life partner and having that partnership, because to me, it's something good about knowing that a person chooses you. And if they're staying because of choice. They're not staying because there's a contract involved. And that I find beauty in. My mom and my stepdad, aka my BFF, they did that. And they did that for, I think it was like 30 years, something like that. It was a long time. And it didn't change anything. I know when my mother was on her deathbed, she wanted to get married, and she felt bad that she didn't do that because my stepfather had never been married. And he said, no, that's okay. I know you love me, and that, and good thing he didn't, because my mother was in some type of debt, child, from the medical bills. Good God almighty. So that didn't affect him later on, which was a plus. I know it sounds crazy, but we don't think about those things too. So in that case, it didn't matter. I mean, they was together for 30 years or over 30 years. Well, I don't know. How old am I? I don't know, but it was definitely 30 years or more, because she passed and we kind of still calculated, but it was definitely 30 years. And you know what? It worked for them. So I would be okay with that. That type of lifestyle is fine. But if a man had never been married and he wanted to get married and it was a good fit and it made sense, then absolutely. I would totally do that, because who doesn't want to make the person that they're in love with happy? And if that's going to make them happy and that's something that they aspire to do, who am I to take that from them? Using just the Superstay Maybelline powder. I'm mixing two colors. This is not how I typically would do my day-to-day. It's just, we ain't going nowhere. But yeah, I'm not opposed to doing that. I'm not afraid of marriage. I'm not afraid of love. And I think that's the difference. Like, the one thing I can say is I'm not scorned. I'm not heartbroken in that manner, to where I think that every man out there is going to do me wrong. No, that's not it. Yeah, I'm hypersensitive to certain things. Of course, we all do. We all will, once we go through a level of trauma or something that's going to make us kind of hyper aware. And that's understandable. And over time, I think it changes, and whoever you're with can calm that noise down on some level. We all have something at this point, at this age, at 40, I'll be 45 in March. you're going to have some level of, oh, okay, you know, I'm watching you. But we don't have to live in that space. And the only thing that I ask from a partner is just show up, be loyal, and rock with me the way I rock with you. You know, I'm a mirror, but I can withstand anything. I'm not saying go out and get dogged and just accept it, because now, you know, you on the other side now. I know what I want and what I don't want, what I'm going to take and what I'm not going to take. I know my value, whereas when you're young, you don't even know who you are. So with that being said, it's like that. That's the one thing that I can take away from that entire experience, because people like to feed into negativity. So they want to see you lose everything. That is not clickbait, but it is, because you put up a title that you're struggling. Oh my God, watch the masses come click. And this wasn't really my goal, meaning my goal isn't to go, woe is me, and have everybody in this space go, woe is me. No, share your story, share your stuff in the comments, and just watch the other side of it. I mean, this might be all over the place. I'm not a vlogger. I'm not that interesting to be vlogging. But can I sit and talk to you? Sure. Can we sit and have these conversations? Can you see some other side of it and the things that I'm into, or joy? Maybe you see an unboxing. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll see makeup. Maybe you won't. And we still have these conversations? Absolutely. Because ultimately, I just want everybody to be happy with themselves and just continue to give love. And even if somebody does something to you, or whatever you've gone through, doesn't mean that it's the end. Sometimes we don't see that while we're going through the storm, but I can assure you that the other side of it, like God, regardless of what your religious beliefs are or whatever you believe in, that's a higher power, not the other side, y'all. You know, nobody wants to, who said come to this earth and struggle in that regard and not love. Love is the most healing energy and vibration that you can give out. So I'm all for love who you love, enjoy the moment, live in the now, the best that you can. It's great to prepare for the future. It's great to do all that, but sometimes we self-sabotage and we ask for or want things that are unattainable. We put a lot on a person and think that they can aspire to whatever we manufactured in our head. And they're not on the same journey sometimes. Sometimes that's just you wanting what you want. I do this all the time. This is the Maybelline brow, or no, not Maybelline, clean CoverGirl. I actually like this eyebrow pencil. We go through that and we think that, okay, you know, I met this guy and he's perfect and he's going to be everything that I want. And then when they don't meet, you know, your 10, 20, 30 things that you got on your list, they might meet, I don't know, it's like the 80-20 rule. They might meet most of it. You know, we don't fight for that. We don't keep that. You know, outside of cheating, and even that can be talked through. You tolerate what you want, and I don't judge anybody. And people make decisions, and know that when people do that, it has nothing to do with you. You know, it's everything to do with the person and what they're going through, what they're dealing with. There's a lot of layers to that. I don't really want to go too crazy about that, because I'm not here to judge people and their experiences and the decisions we make. And I think that overall, people don't intend to hurt someone. But I think that when people are going through stuff, and especially men, they don't know how to express what they're really going through. And sometimes we as women don't know how to understand that they don't express the way we express. And we women, I'm not going to lie, I'm not knocking us, but we can make it difficult for men sometimes. I know I'm not perfect. I know I haven't been perfect. I know I'm not even going to claim perfection, right? But yeah, sometimes people do stuff to you, you react, and maybe that's not who you really are innately, and you react in such a way because you're so hurt. And even though you scream like, hey, you're doing this to me, hey, you know, I want to try to fix this. And they don't hear you, because that man, and we're going to have to do gender here, that man is going through something that he didn't even express with you. And maybe, you know, he don't fuck with you like that anymore. Let's keep it real. But maybe he doesn't hate you. He doesn't want to hurt you. He doesn't know how to do it. Maybe he didn't live his life. Maybe there's so many things to that. And we get ourselves in this cycle of hurting each other. And that's where it's like, I think that's where I can say that, you know, I'm not perfect in And sometimes we react and it might have not have been the best way because we were so hurt. But then this is the caveat. This is how I feel. If somebody hurts you that deeply, you're in a situation, you're in a relationship, and somebody hurts you that deeply to where you are staying to basically make the person miserable because you just cannot accept that the person is no longer into you. And think about if you just accepted that and you walked and said, okay, you know what, whether I like it or not, I can respect it and I'm not going to beg a person. You might end up in a better situation, meaning maybe it won't end toxic. Maybe you guys will still be cool because you've accepted that this person is telling you, hey, I don't want you like that. It is a hard pill to swallow. I'm not saying that I haven't been there. And being told, I was not lovable. And when I say that, being told I could never be loved like that. And what that means is I could never be loved like the person stated, I could never love you like that. Be romantic and do all that romantic shit. You are a homie. You're the homie. When someone tells you that you care about, it stays with you. And I think, there was that moment for me where I was like, fuck that. You're going to love me. I'm going to be that person. And to hold on that many years because you could not accept the fact that not just that person, like it didn't register, that person can't love you like that. You convinced yourself, Michelle, that no one can. It's a really bad place. And I don't blame the person for that because while it was harsh, the problem is I didn't listen. And I think a lot of us women don't listen. Now, I'm not excusing a man. I'm not excusing the other side of the gender because men go through it too. Men go through situations and they try to, be with a woman and we deeply are going through whatever and we're like, hey, we don't want this, but it looks bad on us. We got kids, we have a lot. If I say I don't want to be what you're seeing now, a lot of women are dumping relationships and marriages like, oh, I didn't live my life. And while I don't think that's a reason to end a relationship, there's communication there. If you're in a relationship that basically, doesn't care about your thoughts or care about, the things that you want to do. I was told once as well, I was 80 and they needed a 20. I know, right? They needed somebody who didn't have anything going on, didn't care about wanting to aspire to be anything else, but focus on them. Again, red flag. You stay, but it just comes down to, but didn't they tell you though? So I'm not excusing no situation, but I just know that I'm sure there's other people. I'm not going to put gender here. There's other people that go through being told, I don't love you anymore, or I don't love you like that anymore, or you're not worthy anymore, or whatever the case is. And it could be a season that they're going through that they don't know how to articulate, but it's something that can change you. It can change you in the sense of if you stay, shame on you. If you go, am I making the right decision? And shame on me again. Either way, it's really hard. And staying isn't easy. Leaving isn't always the solution, but I got a lot of attack for not leaving earlier or you should have left sooner. But the reality is if I fuck with you, I fuck with you and I try to ride with you. And I don't know, I think I can change a situation. And I would say, to just summarize that, I learned that I'm not God. And I try to step in situations and be God and think I can change a person's heart and change how somebody views me or whatever the case may be. And I can't. So even sometimes we think we're doing a lot of good. We think, no, you need this. No, I'm the best for you. No. That's all. That's a us thing. That is an ego. That is something that, you got to work through. I work through it. I realize now, I don't think I'm a bad person. I think I'm a pretty great person, to be quite fair. But at the end of the day, not everybody is going to think that of me. Doesn't matter how good I am to them. And sometimes it's just the glasses in which they're viewing them. You could literally give your shirt off the back, do everything and lay down and let people walk all over you, and they're still going to piss on you. That's just it. Is it them? Is it you? I don't know.
But I'm deeper than the skin. I move fast, I move deep. I've always been within. Oh, I am a vision of your freedom. I am the voice you hear.
And that's why I say on the other side of this, at least I can still love. That's the blessing. This is, I don't know, Elf again. Again, y'all, I ain't even paying attention to this. But that's the best thing that I can say, that I'm grateful for, that my heart wasn't that broken. And I attribute that to my stepdad, aka BFF. So when I say BFF, that's who we're talking about, because that's how I always referred to him as, best friend forever. He really let me know the value that I have. And he'd tell me, you're crazy. Yeah, you don't play. Like, he'd say all these things, but he's just like, any man that would have you is lucky. You're supportive, you're this, you're that. And then he fed into me in a way that nobody else has. So I was able to at least have that. And I know, hands down, I'm not a horrible person. Like, we're not the best, and we can, we make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but definitely not the worst. So I don't want the channel, all that to say is I just don't want people to think that this is some, let me go bash somebody's channel. It's not. I have a child. Well, she's an adult, but I have a child. I have, certain things, and I'm a business owner, and that's not the narrative that I want to give, because I don't want people to think that there's something wrong with being married or something wrong with being in love. There isn't. It's a wonderful thing. I just want you guys to know that I'm not broken, and neither should you. I understand it's tough out here. And some of the comments that I received, people are going through it. People have gone through it. People don't know how to get through it. Like, all the above. But I'm here to tell you, I promise you, it's not that bad. Every day for the first year, because you guys saw stuff from last year that I just compiled and decided to put out. So here we are in real time. Today is, I'm not sure what day it is, but it's January 22nd, maybe. And I just need everybody to know that it's not, like, it is okay. Like, I'm okay. The first couple months, yeah, it was different. You're dealing with, like I said in the previous video, you're dealing with, who am I after this? Who am I? Who was I before? I don't even know. I still have milk on my breath. I got married at 18. What I know? So I just did what I could do. I think I did great as a wife and a mom. Like, that was my life, and followed the spouse for their career. And when I started to have a career or create a space for myself, because I had to, because you're moving around based on the occupation, moving around, and I had to carve out something for me each time. And while it was sometimes challenging, sometimes it was frustrating, because you're like, I want to do so many more things that I can't do because of where I'm living or what the circumstance is. I wanted to go to cosmetology school. But when I signed up, when my daughter was young, the spouse was deployed, and what can you do? I tried everything that I could do, had tried to get my younger brother, it was just a lot of things, and I had to drop out. I signed up, had to drop out, couldn't even get started, because who was going to keep my daughter? And I didn't have family around. It was just me and my daughter, and I carried her on the hip. Yes, there's friends along the way that you meet. There's people that help you here and there. But at the end of the day, I didn't grow up like that. So other people carrying my responsibility, it's not their responsibility. So if I couldn't maintain it, I didn't want to rope anybody in on a regular basis for me to try to complete school and work full time. At the time, I was working at a bank, or I was working at Citibank for IT or whatever. And, you just do what you have to do. So I had to pivot that dream, and I tried businesses. I did everything I could do to just keep my creativity going and my brain active, to where it wasn't just mommy brain wife brain, like trying to carve out individuality, right? And some things work, some things didn't work. Life happens. But I always pivoted. I always came up with something to do with myself. I think my greatest thing is when we were leaving and we were moving to Germany, or we moved to Germany, and now I really don't have nothing, right? I had to quit my job, all this other stuff. I was making earrings to pass the time. Kids off at school, spouses at work, and I'm sitting in a village somewhere, like what's going on? I don't know, nothing. And I was making earrings, and then I started selling the earrings on a marketplace over there and meeting people at the gas station, and I'm selling earrings to the point where it was like, the ex was like, oh, okay, I'll deliver the earrings. Like, couldn't believe it. So I always laugh and say, you're a hustler when you can go to another country and you're selling your handmade stuff at the gas station. So I just knew that no matter what I set my mind to, I was gonna do it. And that was NYX. I actually like all their sprays. This one here, this, your makeup stays, child. It stays. But all that to say, I did that, and from there, I got into I started working at a bank again, and I started getting into personal training and things like that, and I got into fitness. I don't know. I just kept reinventing myself. Wherever I was at in that time, in that space, I just reinvented myself to keep myself occupied, because it's hard to watch everybody do stuff. I didn't always want to go and hang out with friends, mine, joint friends, whatever, because these people were either in, had a career in the service, doing something, and I was doing nothing. I felt like I was doing nothing. I felt like, okay, my mama's trick. I got 8.2 gray hairs that have shown themselves. And, you don't want to pluck them because, your hair already thinning when you get old. So, I try to keep them there. But child, listen, and I ain't dyed my hair. What I like to do is do my henna gloss on it. And it will actually tone it down to almost like a honey blonde, So it kind of gives you like a little, a little peekaboo highlight. Love that for me. But I haven't done it yet because my hair is literally 2 weeks dirty. 2 weeks dirty, 2 weeks old and dirty as hell. And yeah, we need to wash it. And then this isn't a shameless plug. I really use my stuff. But this is, instead of, I'm trying not to comb edges because, fun fact, I got into wearing baseball caps thinking I was cute and lazy. And yeah, it can dry your hair out. So, and then constantly brushing your edges, you guys know, is the weakest. And some of the gels and stuff really don't help with breakage, I guess. But I wasn't really using gel or anything. It was just really kind of a hat. And then I have a lot of new growth here. So, and stress. You guys also know that will also do work on them edges. So just use that because it is gentle. It is soothing. Love it on my scalp. It's not greasy. But like it's natural. Not all these weird additives. So again, not a shameless plug. And if I was really doing this for real, I probably would take my gel. I have, natural based gel. So it really is penetrating the hair and really, moisturizing and don't give you the flakes and all that kind of stuff. So I usually would just put that on my edges if I was going to trying to have a sleek style, but we're not going nowhere. And this is just to make sure these these edge hairs, like they're different, make sure it just doesn't dry out at all from the, I lay around and whatnot. And then everybody's into these style, the hair clips are coming back. Love that for me. So this has been my new thing. And I say all this and then don't have a freaking clip. So we're going to put that in there temporarily because I don't know where my clip is. Actually, no. That would happen to me. But anywho, I don't know where I was at. I think I was talking about Germany. Oh yeah, so I reinvented myself and then we moved back to the States and I just did what I could do, whatever I could do. I worked at a clinic, did anything. And during that time is when my mom's cancer started to really metastasize, because she had had breast cancer probably, I want to say, I don't know, my daughter was little. My daughter was a baby. So for maybe 14 years since then. And totally lost track what I was doing. So it came back and it metastasized. So when it did that, they were giving her so much time. This is it's not released, but it's like a serum, and it kind of adds shine, and it actually, I don't want to say it straightens your hair, but it smooths your hair down. Love this. Don't know if I'm going to just use it for myself or release it. I haven't decided. Again, there's a lot of transitions with my business too that I'm going through. But anyway, so when I started the business, it was literally just to try to have something to help my mother's hair grow back faster, because she was refusing chemo. This is a real story, y'all. This is not me just saying it. But I wanted to see if I can convince her, like, hey, Mom, because the first thing I said was, I'm going to cut my hair and we're going to go through this journey together. And then she said, you done lost your damn mind. Those were her words, not mine. And she said, you better not. I won't talk to you. Like, she was over that. Like, you're crazy. So clearly that didn't happen. So I said, well, I'm just going to create something that's going to make your hair grow back faster. And that's when I started the business. So once I started focusing on that, what I was doing free, just to keep myself busy working at the clinic, that's just what it was. I just knew I was going to be somebody, right? I had a project, and I'm going to wrap this up really quick because I got stuff to do, but I was like, no. And the ex was like, I don't have time for your little hobbies. I have a real career, and it crushed me. That was the same week that I was headed to Chicago because my mom was going to cancer treatment center, and it was my birthday. And that following week, so my birthday is the 19th of March, that following week, I launched my site on the 25th of March. And it'll be 11 years coming in March. So that little hobby turned into a business where I made over $1 million myself. I taught myself everything. I taught myself formulation and manufacturing. I expanded globally, all because it was a little hobby. So it's funny because after that, before even forecasting or knowing where it could be, about a month later, it was that 80-20 conversation. I need the 20 and not the 80. Who would have known that it would have turned what it turned into? And as it did, that created an issue. Now, I don't know. Some men say they don't care what you do and it's okay, and I'm supportive, but I often wonder, because there's a lot of people within this space or other spaces that end up garnering some level of success, and their relationships don't make it. So for me, I always wanted to try to be inclusive of the individual, and the individual didn't want to be. And that was okay, I thought, for the time being, and then it wasn't. And then I thought I needed it. And it's funny because now on the other side of that, I don't. But it's crazy how God takes a lot of stuff from you, and it's like starting over. So right now, it's just, what was the vision of this to begin with? The vision was wellness. We talked through hair because I created something for my mom that expanded to over 60 products. But it still lost sight of its wellness. And sometimes it's hard to translate because people are like, oh, you're doing skincare. Well, actually, I started skincare before I went to Germany and I tried to start a business, one of them. I actually started out with skincare. Now it's on my heart and it's a passion project, which is why it's XOL, which is really Love Elle, kind of in a collaboration, because I want to do a lot of wellness stuff because that's near and dear to me. And it also pays homage to my BFF because he was very big into wellness and natural healing. So that's where that blend is coming along. And it might not fit everybody's narrative, but for me, it does, because everything I do is from a heart space. And I encourage anybody who's going through any type of grief or loss, because that's how I was creative. That's where I poured it all. When you get on the other side and you start healing, it's so hard now. Like, while I still love everything that I do, I'm not as much in that loss and grief feeling as I would have been. So it's a different way I'm pouring in. So I would say I don't want to say it's more intentional, but I guess it is, because it's coming from a healed space. And I encourage anybody who's going through stuff, find something that you love. Maybe something as a kid that, like I said, I always wanted to go into hair. I did fashion. I wanted to be a fashion designer. Like, there's things that have always been of me. And sometimes tapping back into those creative spaces, you never know what it can garner. It doesn't mean it has to be a business. It doesn't mean whatever, but sometimes your passions can make you money. And that doesn't mean go run out and quit your 9-to-5, because we all have to. This world is whirling. You know, it's affected me in my business because of the tariffs and things like that and prices of stuff. So it's kind of like a slow scale back, but I'm still here and it's still part of my journey. And then the moment that it's not, then it's not. But I want everybody to know that it is okay on the other side, and just keep doing what you do. Keep being who you are, and find moments, even when you're sad. Go find something. Go read a book. Go for a walk. Do something. Call somebody that's a safe space. But please don't wallow in it. Give yourself, like my dad, aka BFF, he used to say, give it 17 seconds. It's okay to have those moments. Let them out, and then let it pass. If you have to do 17 seconds for 10 minutes, do it. The whole key is you don't sit in it. Don't sit in it all day. Don't wallow in it. Don't keep getting on social media. If you're getting on social media and everything you're seeing is negative, everything you're seeing is feeding into it, because they say they're reading our brains through these phones. I don't know. That's another conversation. But if that's the case, get off that device. Go do something else. Unplug, because sometimes that's better for our mental health. So all that to say, I know I say that a lot, but I talk a lot. So I try to find points to shut up. But I hope this helps somebody, and I hope you stick around. Like I said, the journey might be all over the place, but I'm a real person. I go through things like everybody else. I'm not going to even fabricate like I'm this overly curated person. I'm really not. Sometimes I like to try, but it really isn't me, and I can't sustain that. So you get the real, the raw, and the best that I can, but I'm not going to drag people. I'm not here to drag, but I'll answer questions and I can tell my story because it's still my story, but I don't want to tell other people's. So for those who asked, yes, I had the normal situation that most of us experience. And that didn't define me. So hope everyone is well. And as always, love you all.